Welcome to Trybe Talks, the podcast for parents who are trying to do it all and stay sane in the process. I'm Princess Naya, your host and founder of Trybe, your personal parenting assistant. Each week we dive into real conversations, parent hacks, and stories that remind you ain't doing this alone. Now let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trybe Talks. I'm your host, Naya, aka Princess Naya, aka Kizzy's mom, and recently I like to call myself the real housewife of Trybe, but I'll explain that another time. Today, I'm joined by an amazing powerhouse of a woman. If there was a studio audience here, they'd all be doing, woo! Right now. I would like you to welcome Sharon.
Oh, great. Naya, thank you for having me. I mean, we've been talking for so long and, sort of crossing paths, and I totally admire what you're doing and the business you're building.
Thank you.
Because I really started myself from the ground upwards. So,
but tell everyone who you are first and what you do.
So I am Sharon Weise-Nesbeth. I'm a founder, co-founder of Steer24, and most importantly, I'm a mother. But I'm also a strategist, a coach, a mentor, and many other things as well.
Yeah, so many other things, and such an inspiration as well across so many different levels. I know that we've had so many conversations about being a woman in business over the time. There's probably so many things that I want to try and fit into today, but we'll start somewhere. So I think let's just dive into how you find being a founder versus working in corporate while supporting your family and your children at the same time.
Wow. So it's like a whole big brick just hit me, because I've grown from the ground upwards. So that kind of helped me a bit, meaning I grew from the ground upwards because I grew up in agency.
Okay.
And when you grow up in an agency life, you're the gopher, you're the everything.
So what does agency mean?
Agency means work in media, mostly working in media, working in communications media.
Okay.
So, for instance, your business would want a communications plan and a strategy, and we would build that for you.
Right.
You would want advertisement, all of those types of things. Okay. So working with big corporate businesses to deliver strong strategic branding and marketing. And I did that as a start off. And that meant it kind of gave me the groundedness of kind of learning and knowing everyththing.
Okay.
Because you have to be. You're the person that everyone comes to.
Ask all the questions.
Even although you're the junior and you get less paid, but you must know everything. So I pride myself on doing that. So I did that for a while and then realised, because I used to look at things, I visualise my growth, where I'm going.
Okay.
And I'd see people in an office and see that, and I think, I'm going to be that. I'm going to do that. And I remember one day going, I'm going to sit in an office. So one day they upset me, and those are the days when you could just walk into another job, walk into an agency, bluffed my way, got into financial services.
Wow.
I started at the ground again there to get in as an EA. But I gained trust with people. I'm a real stakeholder, uniter, relationship builder. They had the confidence in me.
Okay.
Started to fly from there. After a little while, I wasn't just the EA. I was the facilitator manager. I was the head of marketing. I was the everything. Sometimes I even got imposter syndrome because I was even invited to board meetings because my opinions and perspectives were so valued. And I'd sit there thinking, someone's going to be saying in a minute,
they're going to know
what she doing in here. But then I soon realised, because from my foundation from growing up, my dad in particular, you know what? You belong here.
Yeah.
All right? Go walk tall, because I was invited here. All right? I didn't stow away.
Yeah.
All right? They invited me here for my skill set. All right? Stay strong, because people will try and pull you down.
Yes.
All right?
True.
And those are the things that continue in my mind everywhere. Any space I go to, I belong at the table.
Yeah.
You may have a fancy title, and initially I'm going to thinking, shit, this is not my peer. You know more than me because your fantasy title. As long as I go in there with boldness and courage, after a while I think, hold on a minute, you haven't got no more sense than me. You just had a gateway to get that position.
Yeah.
So life is all about positioning yourself, seizing the moment, but going in there with bold and courage.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. And so when you got through and you're now in your financial world, which is your new, like you're at the top of your game. When did you have your children? So when did you have your son? So when was that? Was that before the?
Yes. Okay.
So because it's really important for people to understand that, what you were doing then, you was doing it with a child. It's not, do you know what I mean? Like just you by yourself. Because there's courage when you're on your own. It's easier when you're fighting for yourself. But how about having a son on board? Like, how did that work?
So for me, I had my son when I was 24 and a half.
Okay.
And I was fazed by nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm a bit of a selfish mum. I love my kids, will give it all to my kids, but equally I've got to build a foundation for them. Mm-hmm. So I didn't just bury myself in just being, I'm going to be a mum. Nothing wrong with being that if that's what you want to do. But I'm very fortunate that I have a village around me. Yep. All right. I've got 5 sisters, 2 brothers, and a mum and dad who would always support me. I didn't have to worry about 6 weeks holiday, half-term holidays, because I knew my kid was going there. And I say now that all children are SEP, spoilt, entitled and privileged. And I didn't realise that I was too, because that is a privilege.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Yeah.
It's a privilege to have parents or someone that can always take your kids, go to work from Monday to Friday, feel a little bit tired on a Friday, so pick them up Saturday morning and then drop them back Saturday evening because you're going party, because you want to have fun. So I had support there, but it wasn't easy. I really had to make sure that there was structure in the family, though, because those.
So did you ever get mum guilt? Because a lot of parents talk about this overwhelming feeling of making the choice to do something for themselves, but then knowing that their child probably just wants to be with them.
I didn't feel mum guilt with my son.
Okay.
I think because I wasn't at my hiatus. I was growing and developing. So therefore, I didn't have the types of responsibilities that come with leadership and having to sacrifice family or the job because you're climbing. So I didn't have it so much with my son, but I really did feel it with my daughter, because I had my daughter much later in life. I was just over 40 when I had my daughter. And that time I'm really at my peak, I'm pivoting. And it's not like today. You couldn't say, my daughter's sick or I've got to go to a play, That type of thing happened for men, but as a woman, you did not say my priority was my family, my children.
And also, just to point out as well, like for people that are listening and probably not watching, for a black woman in that day and age as well, Sharon, those were things that were super unheard of. Do you know what I mean? Like being a woman in a high place position in a company is one thing, but in that generation, like being black as well, like you really did carry the baton and open doors for a lot of women to come through. Like, so your sacrifices they're not in vain, if that makes sense.
No.
And I know maybe there may have been mum guilt, but I'm just saying, like, it is really champion behaviour to know that I done that, but it's showing that we can do these jobs, you know?
And just going back to that piece, so just finishing off on the mum guilt. So I had the mum guilt with my daughter because I spent a lot of time away. I'm very fortunate in life. Your success is built on the people you know, opportunities, chances, all of those types of things. But it's really important to have a sponsor. And I've been very lucky throughout my career journey and pathway. I've had sponsors that have believed in me. But I've had to really work hard to force it and to make sure that I wasn't toppled over, because I've worked in FTSE 350 organisations, the big financial services organisations. I'm not going to name them here, but I was the only a lot of time. When I started as global head of marketing or head of marketing, anything like, I was the only, right? I was only face that looks like mine around the table.
It's insane.
All right. And you have to struggle with, I lead by my values, and you struggle with, how am I bringing my identity And I do know that part of that way, I didn't bring my full identity in. They saw this face, this black face, but I looked like them, I sounded like them.
Okay.
So I wasn't black, if you understand what I mean.
I feel like it's a weird thing that I feel like I've experienced, and maybe if I say it, you'll be able to say, yeah, it's similar to that. And it's like, you're okay because you're their black person. And I feel like I've experienced that in my like family settings before. It's like, as an adult, I realize now, oh, I was cool to be black, but because I'm your black.
Yes.
Not because I am black. Like, it's a very different feeling.
Yeah.
So is that what it is?
Yes, it is. And because people would fit. I remember my husband picking me up. My husband is a tall, black, beautiful, hot chocolate. And, you know, he's been mistaken for Shaquille O'Neal, all of those basketball players. And I remember him picking me up one evening, and oh my God, the difference. It was all male. I think there was just, we were a party of, there was 10 of us, all men, 2 women, me and another woman, white lady.
Okay.
When Roy walked into that room, the difference, they suddenly now go, oh, he's a big lad.
Wow, yeah. And the word lad as well. Is this so different?
Right? He's a big lad, and, that type of language today, I mean, I'm going way back 20 odd years. Yeah. And guess what? I'm still very, very good friends with those people. Yeah. And they're my sponsors and coaches. But they just didn't know. And, this unconscious biasness, because suddenly now they're realizing, hey, there's a black woman in this room.
Yeah.
Right? She's one of us, but suddenly her identity is showing up.
Yeah.
And that's
they're seeing you.
And they're seeing you. But that kind of stayed like that. Being the only for a lot of my career in different positions, because there are lots of there's lots of diversity, and that means gender and colour. Yes. That's what people really put inclusivity on, and I hate it, because inclusivity is much broader than gender and diversity and that intersectionality. But it's at the levels you don't get past this ceiling.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like almost like when you look in if you do an example of like a shop, it's like sales assistants, everyone, assistant managers, a couple, managers, 1. Regional managers, none. And then, the CEO, founder, all the way up, none. Yeah. So it's like the diversity kind of hits the ceiling.
Yeah.
So where you've gone is you smash through the roof.
Yeah. I had to work hard for it, believe you me. And the sacrifice I made, because particularly in the last 8 years, my 8 to 10 years, my job was constantly on traveling.
Okay.
I traveled almost every other week or whatever to the US, because I was global, and we had offices, and the work that I did, the US, India, Australia, everywhere, Europe. And that meant I had to leave my children. But I have a strong foundation. The relationship that my husband and I have, we've been together for 30 odd years.
Congratulations.
Married in September, 27 years. So we've really got a strong, we're locked in. It's a partnership now. We've gone from that, so it was easy to hand over to him, and for him to just take the baton with the support of my family whenever he needed to do that.
Okay.
And then it came to, so I did that, and for the last 6 years, I've just been saying, Jesus, girl, you're working your heart and soul.
Giving everything.
You're meeting your objectives. It's outstanding. It's all good. The sky's bright. You're bleeding.
Yeah.
But that pivot to the next level in the corporate world is incredibly hard.
Okay.
There are probably about 4 CEOs as females. All right, which is nothing. It's crumbs.
Yeah.
Right. So reports say that it's going to take 200 years for women to break through to be at the same number and level in a boardroom as men.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
No, it is.
But that's what you experience. But then on top of that layer, I'm a black woman.
Yeah,
so
you get the extra.
For women, it's a glass ceiling, right? You will always hear women say, it's a glass ceiling because there isn't. But guess what? For me as a black woman, for you as a black woman, it is a cement ceiling.
No, it is. And I feel like through the tech world, it's like I've found that I'm in such a niche. It's like, okay, so women don't get investment. Okay, women get like, I don't know, whatever the, I'll get the stats up and I'll put them in the video, but women get such and such.
And I have that stats, so I can help you.
And then on top of that, black women get an even lower proportion.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, black women in tech, it's like 0.0000000. So it's so discouraging because you think, well, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah.
However, I feel like the inspiration comes from people like yourself because going back however many years before you was even doing what you was doing, it was probably very unheard of to think of a black woman rising into the positions and being in the rooms that you were in. And if you never took the plunge and said, I'm doing this, then I wouldn't be able to be sat here today to say, well, yeah, 0.00000% of people are being invested in. But you know what? It can be done.
It can be done, and it isn't easy. And my job now, and that's what I've set my business up on that premise, is Steer 24 is all about supporting women, particularly in transition.
Okay.
Whether it's transition because you've been a carer, you've had to come out of the workforce because of ill health, just a raft of reasons. And when you come out of the workplace, you know that connections, networking, your confidence, all of those things can diminish absolutely in 3 to 6 months. So I'm using my time now through Steer 24 to really support women to realise they're impossible, because I've achieved my impossible in the first phase. I'm now in the second phase because things come in seasons, and I know right now is my season.
Excuse me. Hi, everyone.
Kizzy, we're recording.
So, hi, podcast people. I just had to tell you, I have a free course for kids like me. It's called Money Jazz. And it's so cool because it teaches us how to save, spend, and even invest. I'm basically a mini millionaire in training right now.
Kizzy?
Parents, you can get it for free. Yep, free. Just click the link in the description. Thank you so much for listening to my very important announcement. Okay, Mum, you can finally have your podcast back now.
Thanks, Kizzy. Right, where were we?
You know, I took a hard decision in 2021 to take redundancy, you know, from this, because I was kind of thinking, where am I going to go? Things were changing, structures were changing, and what I was known for, I wouldn't be able to deliver in that way. So already I could see the fight, the hustle that I've been doing was just going to continue, and I was tired.
Yeah, of course.
I was tired.
Of course. And also, once you put the work in, like, and it's like, I am a believer on, no, you have to put work in, and we're going to be working forever. It's just the way that it is. However, there's a style of work that you get through, the grit and the trenches, and you get to a certain stage where, I don't want to do that bit again. You know, and I feel like once you're faced with that, that's when the real decisions come in, like, okay, cool, what am I doing here? Like, you know, and also what example am I setting to my daughter and my children and my grandchildren in what is best for you, you know, and what is best for your legacy and what you're actually able to achieve outside of the corporate walls.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's bringing it back to you, yourself, all right? Because when I was growing up in my era, success meant money, the house, the car, the company you worked for, and the amount of money you made.
Where you're signing up to get your good pension.
You know, and don't get me wrong, all those things, you need to have financial stability, you need to have a pension. Right? But that's another conversation now. You make sure and line yourself and apply and make sure you've got that, because if you haven't, all of this work is for nothing. So I had all of that, but I suddenly started, as I said, in 2021, my husband was diagnosed with a very rare bone cancer. That shifted our whole life. All right. He thankfully, and it's not oh dear, because a lot of people go, oh dear. Please don't give me that face, because you know what? God's grace, he's here with us. He has one leg, but that man is a rocket.
I was going to say, it's
moves.
like, even me, it's like, I feel like with any other guest, I would have been like, oh, is everything okay? But it's like, knowing your husband and knowing his strength is like, one leg what?
Yeah.
It's like, it means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it means nothing to him. Like, he's just the same. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
If not, he's probably more, he's more in like, on form.
But I'd make it.
I'd
make it. Yeah, but it meant that, you know what? God told me, because I'm very faithfulness. I grew up in faith.
Yeah.
And that's what holds me and a part of my values. And he said, you need to be at home. You can't be fighting the fight out there for others.
Yes.
You can't be flying all over the place and everything, because you will kill yourself.
Yeah.
Your family really need you, because my husband's been great. He's always supported my career.
Yeah.
We've been lucky that he's had his own business, and then when he went into work, it could flex around me. Because today I'd go, guess what, darling, I've got to fly off tomorrow. Where's the passport? I'm packing and just saying, kids need to, I always left notes and everything like that. This is where they need to be. But the time came now, I need to step up and take care of him and the family, because everyone was broken. Even although I was broken, but the strong foundation of women I come from, I'm telling you, I dug deep and held on to that strength together with the faithfulness and the power of above to keep me strong, which I still do today, because I now have to take the lead. My husband, I'm his princess. I didn't do anything. I came home, the work was done, the house was clean, the shopping was done, the food was cooking. Now, damn, I've got to do it. All right? But then what it did make me do was take the shift that I needed to do to redefine what success looks like for me. All right? Everyone has to redefine what success looks like for them. And you do that in seasons.
Yeah, it's true.
All right? And it meant that I no longer, I'm fortunate enough, I have the home, I have the car, I've got the kids, I've got enough. I have all I need and all I want. I tell myself that every day. And I thought, what am I going to do next? Because I've been thinking about it for at least 8 years or so, that I want to give back. Because when I'm a mentor, and when I speak to people, I hear that the lostness, the feeling that it's not going to change because of the colour of my skin, because of this. There's always the barriers that are presented. And I think that I just go, no barrier's too big, because my dad was like that. You know what? You're going to jump over that wall. Find a way. If you can't go over, you go under to the side, you knock a hole in the wall. But you're gonna do it, right? And so that's my mentality, and that's what I input on my children as well. My children are like that. I decided, and I met my co-founder through chance, and we just bonded straight away 4 or 5 years ago, and a year ago took the bold step to set up Steer 24, right? And we're really supporting and helping women. But when you start to understand and really dig into the challenges, yes, it is uphill, but you've got to keep speaking about it. Because right now, one of the biggest things that I'm really championing and advocating, and no one's talking about it, is female health. All right, female health, how it's driving women out of the workforce. All right, they talk and tip a little bit about it, menopause, they do this, but do they really want to hear? Right?
Oh, I don't feel like anyone wants to hear. And I even feel like the women themselves that are going through it, and I say that respectfully, but it's so scary. It's like you get to an age and all of a sudden you don't feel like yourself anymore, and you don't understand why, and there's not a safe space to explain why, and then you're not performing at work because your energies are gone, because all your estrogen levels have plummeted, or whatever it is that no one talks about. So everything that you're saying is so important, and is that stuff that you talk about through your company as well?
I talk about it through my company. I've just started, and it's broader than the menopause. I've stripped it right back because I've got lived experience with my daughter, all right? Periods. That word people don't even want to, my brother, when he goes, oh my God, no.
The blood.
I don't want to hear about it. You lot go next door, and it's like, hold on a minute.
Understand.
Men, you need to understand what your wife your partner, your girl children. You have women all around you. Understand the minute your girl child a woman starts menstruating, a period isn't just a bad bellyache.
Yeah, it's so much more.
You know, polycystic ovaries, endometriosis. I watch my daughter every single month, all right? Every single month, and she's 26 years old, right? Going through the pain pre the period because of polycystic ovaries.
And then during.
And she toughs it out. And then during, all right? People don't want to hear about it. But when you're bleeding for 3 weeks, how are you expected to perform? Yeah. I don't want you to make any special privileges for me, but what I would like you to do is understand. Understand what women have to go through, the challenges for women to show up.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of grace. And I had to work with her she just got a new job because the other one wasn't so open to managing and really being flexible to support it. So she's able, during these times, to come in at 10 and leave at 3, but still work.
Yeah.
And work at home. That's all women are asking for, the flexibility.
Yeah.
We don't want to just stay at home and lie down. But
yeah, no, it is flexibility. And I think it's such a broad conversation because I think, as you mentioned, it's definitely something employers should be addressing. But I think in the homes as well, it's so important for the men that you live with to understand that, my reaction today is not actually my reaction. My reaction is based on what is happening inside of my body. And if they understood that, then it would just take out so many other negative things that come from the arguments and the challenges and you're being combative. And it's like, I'm not me today.
Exactly. And there's
she might turn up next week, but she's not here now.
Yes.
So it is, it's so important.
Absolutely.
And then add in having your children on top of that.
So I'm leading that campaign. Steer 24, we're talking about it. It's uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about it. On LinkedIn, my big campaign at the moment with leading into female health is leading while bleeding.
Yeah.
All right? And people are like, huh? Oh my God, because we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm running focus groups to really understand the challenges that women face, right? Just showing up. Stop toughing it out, right? Speak about it, talk about it. I'm going into organisations to talk to them about the language, the policy processes, how they're supporting their women.
Yeah.
Because there is £15 billion lost in the UK, billions more in the global economy, just because women are stepping out because they can't manage the challenge and navigate their career with the illnesses that they have to go through.
It's crazy when you think about it like that.
So how are companies building pipelines? Right? How are you building your future? I don't want to be working with an organisation that doesn't have somebody that looks like me, have a female, have real diversity, all right? Don't expect to come to me with the hierarchy of these are the best people, because are you giving the best people the opportunities to step up?
Probably most often not, really, to be totally honest.
Yeah, and they're not. And so that's what Steer 24 is all about. Building the blocks. And I'm really, really passionate about inclusivity, because inclusivity to a lot of people is that gender and diversity, intersectionality.
And it is so much deeper.
It's deeper. It is inclusivity, understanding female health.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Disability, people's gender preferences. You get a lot of that. But you know what? People are frightened. And then again, on top of that, another layer is different for Black women.
Yeah. No, it is. It is.
All right?
It is.
So understanding the differences. I'm about women succeeding. That's what I want women to succeed. But I still break it down into everyone needs to be aware of the differences, how to support
them.
And the language to use, because, before George Floyd, there was no race conversations going on at all.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
set up focus groups in the organisations that I was. People were afraid to use the word Black.
Yeah, they're scared.
All right?
But at least now it's good that we've come to a stage where we're scratching the surface still.
Yes, we are.
But there are people like you, and there's many other people as well that are really trying to fight the fight, and they're not giving up. And
Yes.
I think, like, even though obviously we're a bit quiet, like all the Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
everyone made a big fuss, and then all of a sudden everyone went quiet. But there are people working on different things all over the place, and hopefully, like, we all just make sure that we don't stop talking about it. And I feel like that's probably like
It's talking about it, and it's supporting it, because what we have to think about, it's a generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to pass this down for the future to come up.
Well, speaking of the future, on my way to do the podcast today, I've told Kizzy where I'm going because I didn't drop her in the car today. We got the train, so I had to come straight into the city. And she wants me to ask all the parents a question. So I'm going to ask you a question from
Yes.
Kizzy. I'm probably going to edit her in right now. And her question is, Sharon, what is your superpower as a parent? So what would you describe as your superpower?
My superpower as a parent is my humbleness and kindness
Oh, that's beautiful.
and willingness to adapt and learn from my children.
Mm-hmm.
My children's ages are very, very different. 43, he'll be 43 on Saturday, 26 and 17. And I've had to flex and change my outlook and how I respond to them, how I respond to situations.
Yeah.
Because remember, I come from a traditional old school, parents know best.
Yeah.
You do as I say.
Yeah.
But I'd like to sometimes,
Yeah.
but that doesn't work anymore. And if I want to hear from my children, if I want them to lean on me and come to me, I've got to be open and show that to them, that I'm that way. I remember my daughter, the 26-year-old one, she was going on holiday and just doing some other thing, and I was just giving her all the reasons, showing her all the barriers that I'm always telling people, forget the barriers, just bold through, because I didn't want her to go. Right? It was the first time she was going to be away, and I couldn't go and get her if I needed her. So it was all of those types of things. And she looked me straight in the eye and she said, "Mum, don't put your fears on me." And my whole outlook switched, and I was just like,
you woke up.
You know
Okay,
what?
you're right.
I woke up, and that's how I treat all of my children, because working with a 43-year-old, a 26-year-old, and a 17-year-old is so very, very different all together.
And it's beautiful as well, because it's like you have the different decades, so you have different experiences, and you kind of be able to see across the board like what works for different age groups, which then rolls out into your business.
Yeah.
But yes, Sharon, it's been lovely talking to you today. We've definitely peaked at time. I feel like we need a part 2.
We sure do.
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like we didn't even get to scratch the surface of what all your different achievements and things that you've done, and everything that you're planning to do as well. So just tell the people where they can find you and where they can contact you for your services.
So you can contact me at www.steer24.co.uk. We're on LinkedIn, Sharon Weise-Nesbeth. Please follow me. It's incredibly important that we really do support women getting back into the boardroom, so that we do have a diversity of perspectives. We have a range of people. Our future isn't just the male dominant ones that are standing there at the top. Let's break that down together.
Listen, I could not have said that any better than what you have said. It's absolutely amazing. Make sure you guys check Sharon out, and we're definitely going to get her back on season 3, and we'll do like an extra extended version. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
I
for having
appreciate
me.
you, and
Wow, you're still here listening. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to Trybe Talks. And if you enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with another parent who needs their tribe. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all that good stuff. And make sure you get involved and be a part of the conversation. Until next time, and remember, parenting takes a village, and now you've got one.